All right, so now that we've replaced the regulator, put the glass back in place, made sure it seats, we've run it up and down as we've showed you. So now we're ready to start putting the rest of the door back together again. When we took the door apart, I mentioned that we needed to have the vapor barrier against this real rubbery material that just really stays kind of rubbery and gluey for for a long time. It will harden up eventually. You do get your hard spots. So if you haven't torn this up, go ahead and just start putting it back in place. If you have torn it up, find whatever you can to kind of replace that. You know, if you can find a dealer item, that would be best. But you can get the seal material fairly readily, because all the automotive companies use the same type of glue to put that all together. So make sure you get it in there as best you can. You don't want the water coming into the car, which is really what that vapor barrier is all about. Because if the window's down and you get rain or go through a car wash and the seal's maybe not holding real well, you want to make sure it goes into the interior door panel, and there'll be some drain spots at the bottom here where it'll drain out. Or in some of them will actually have plugs that you put in, some will have just openings where it'll drain out. But it's very important to put that back in. I know a lot of shade tree people will just kind of ignore that and just say, it doesn't need the barrier. But it also helps a lot with the noise dampening as well. So we need to put the clip holder. You may have to mess with your vapor barrier a little bit to get it in place so that you can match the screws to the holes through the vapor barrier. And we put this bracket in before we started working on the speaker area. And this bracket is actually to hold the light bulb. So once you get the bracket in, go ahead and slide the light in place, and it'll latch over, and that'll secure that so it's not rattling around inside your door panel. And then you can proceed then to start putting in your speaker system. All right, so now you want to take and put the speaker back into place. Watch where you put your fingers. You don't want to be messing with the, don't want to puncture your speaker itself. And then you'll see there's a screw there, a screw way over here, and unfortunately this bracket is broken, but we don't have enough pieces of it to do our little paper trick to put that together. But 2 screws will be plenty to make this speaker go back together again, stay in place, and be nice and solid. All right. Again, you're dealing with plastic parts. Don't over torque. That's probably what happened with this one here. This door's had the window regulator replaced by someone other than us, and apparently they were not real gentle with what they did. So from there, we can start hooking up the electrical again. All right, now in order to put the panel back together again, we've got to finish hooking up all the electrical. Some of the electrical is going to be easy, like this one for the speaker you can put in right now, okay? But some of them you're going to have to put in as you put the door back on. So for example, this one here goes to the door light at the bottom of the door. So when we flip this over, we need to fish this through that hole right there and fish it out through here, and then we can attach it, and then we can pop the light back into its slot there. This one here attaches to, as you can see, to this the light for your cigarette, your ashtray right there. So that pops in there, so you hook that up as you put the door panel back together again. And then don't forget your door lock, which goes in here. So we left it together in order to make sure we knew which one goes where, but we'll have to separate that and fish that up through the door lock here, so that the cable goes up in there, and then we can attach that and pop the lock back in place. So just kind of take a little bit of time and make sure you know where all the wires go, because once you start mounting the door together, you don't have a whole lot of room to work, and you want to know where everything goes. Of course, you've also got to remember that you've got to fish your door handle through the slot where the door handle goes here. So that's kind of an overview of what needs to happen. And then, of course, we'll start hooking the door back up and getting it on all the clips and everything there. So I think we're ready to put the door panel back on. So that's the strategy, and here we go. All right, so we've now got the door panel back in place. It took a little bit of effort and some patience to make sure you get all the clips in place, and then to work your way around to make sure you line up all of the little plastic clips into the holes, because they don't tend to self-align. You have to move them a little bit. You may find it's helpful in putting the door back on if you kind of get this out of the way. We actually put it up out of the way and rolled down the window so we could get at the clips up on this side, and made that a little easier. So now we can kind of wrap up. We just need to put our door lock in place. We need to put our not that one, this one here. Need to put the screw back in place here at the door handle. And the little cover that goes on that, note that it is keyed, so you need to put it in the right direction. And as always, they make these things tougher to put in than they should. Come on, get in there. Okay. Then we have still to hook up the light. So need to attach that clip, and then work that light back into place. Come on. All right, so the last thing we've got is to put it in the small shade screen. So just kind of get it in, get it lined up, and it should just go ahead and snap in place. Oops, there it goes. So it should just snap in place. It doesn't go in real hard. And now we have our door all back together again.